Welcome to this week's yoga practice. So, starting seated on the mat, comfortable seated position, cross-legged if you can, backs of your hands on your knees, palms facing upwards, shoulders down, nice straight back. And let's start to tune into our breathing, into our diaphragmatic breathing. So pulling up the breath from the diaphragm, a deep inhale, and then an exhale through the nose. Close your eyes and start to tune into your breathing, into your own space, focusing on nothing but your breath and your body for this whole of the next hour. So inhaling slowly, breathing up from the diaphragm, exhaling through your nose, and try and make the in-breath the same length as the out-breath, so that you have a nice even, slow rhythm of deep inhale and exhale through your nose. And perhaps you can imagine it as a circular round of breath as you're breathing. As you inhale, feel the breath rising up your back, and as you exhale, feel it travelling out through your nose, and imagine it travelling round in a circle. Inhale, exhale, and keep this breath going throughout the practice. Every time we start into a movement, inhale, and every time we settle in that movement, exhale. Slow, even breath throughout the whole practice. And you can use the breath to send it to where you need to in the body to help give you energy. Feel as you inhale the energy filling your body, and as you exhale, send it to wherever that breath needs to go, wherever you need a little bit of extra boost. In your own rhythm. And now let's start to gently bring some movement into the neck to start warming it up, warming up the body. Gentle rotations round, keeping the same rhythm of breath. So every time you inhale, your head's going back and to one side. Every time you exhale, to the front and to the other side. Inhale back, exhale to the front, inhale back. Exhale to the front, inhale back, exhale to the front, inhale, bring your head back to center, and then start to go around the other way. Exhale, down, inhale back, exhale, down. Inhale back, exhale, round, I think. I always lose track with this one. I always try to count and then forget. So, okay, head back to the centre. And now let's tilt the head gently over to the left-hand side and lift up your left hand and place it on your right ear and just gently pull your head down towards your left ear so that you can feel a little stretch along the side of your neck. And then reach your right arm out as far as you can reach it. Really stretch out your arm so that you feel the stretch along this part of your arm and going up into your neck. Inhale, exhale, inhale back to centre, swap hands, swap sides, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale back to centre, and this time link your hands behind you and pull them down, open your chest up a little bit, head backwards a little bit, squeezing your shoulder blades together. You can rotate your neck a little bit more if you want, and then release, and then placing the right hand down on the floor next to you. Inhale your left arm up, reaching over as you exhale, settling down, keeping both your sit bones on the floor, your chest facing forwards. Inhale, back up to centre. Exhale, other arm, other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, back to centre. And now pad your hands forwards in front of you, keeping your sit bones on the floor. Your hips will be opening up slightly. Pad them as far forwards as you can. Head down between your arms. Really pull your arms so you feel your armpits stretching, and your fingertips, it's like you're pulling the floor away with your fingertips. And when you think you've stretched as far as you can, still keeping your sit bones on the floor, stretch a little bit more. Inch your fingers forwards even more. Breathe. And then inhale over to the right hand side. Keep your hips and your lower body facing forwards. Just your arms and your upper body, your head moving to the side. Round of breath here. Inhale back to centre. Exhale over to the left hand side. Round of breath here as well. Inhale back to centre, and then lifting yourself back up so that you're back up into a seated position, and this time linking your fingers together and pushing the palms forwards and really pulling your arms forwards, feeling the stretch across your upper back, across your shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Inhale your arms up, and then over to the right, tilting from the waist, not moving your lower body. Inhale back to centre. Exhale over to the other side. Inhale back to centre. Release your arms back down. Lovely. Shake your arms a little bit. We'll do some slow rotations with the shoulders, up and round and back, up and round and back, and then swap up, round and forwards, up, round and forwards, up, round and forwards. Beautiful. And then let's do eagle arms, which is always a good one to get the shoulders working. So arms straight out in front of you, and then let's place the right arm across the body underneath the left arm, and then cross at the elbows and palms or your hands facing each other, and then pulling the arms up in the centre of your face, the centre of your body. You should feel your shoulder blades really opening up here. Breathe. And then releasing, and of course we have to do the other side now. So arms out again, this time folding the left arm across, crossing at the elbows, and then palms facing inwards, lifting up, breathing, and then releasing out of that one, shaking your shoulders a little bit if you want. And now let's do some wrist, just sort of flexing the wrists a little bit so we can link the fingers together and just loosely shake our wrists loose a little bit. And then let's press the back of our hands together, or the back of it sort of up near the wrists together, and then the palms together. And then kind of do little rotations, or do a little shadow hand puppet dance, or a little Balinese hand dance, but just so that you're getting your wrists a little bit flexed, and this part of your arm a little bit flexed that you wouldn't necessarily do. So just have a little play around with your wrists. Lovely. And then let's bring our arms out in front of us, still with the backs of the hands facing each other. This time let's link the fingers together, and then let's turn the arms inside out so that palms are facing upwards. The fingers, you're pulling your arms down, and you're pulling your fingers in towards you, so that you're getting a nice stretch in your elbows. I mean across your shoulders too, but your elbows are getting a really good stretch. You don't normally stretch your elbows like this. So breathe into it, and then releasing. Let's do the chicken dance to get our elbows moving again. Lovely. And then let's just have a rotation before we come up onto our hands and knees. So right hand down on the floor next to us, left hand on the right knee. Lift up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder. Don't strain too much just yet because we're still only warming up. Breathe. Inhale back to the centre. Exhale, right hand on left knee, left hand loosely beside you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn. Couple of rounds of breath. And then inhale back to the centre. And let's come up onto our hands and knees. And keeping our this part of our legs upright. Let's come down into a position that's called rabbit apparently. We'll bring the crown of the head down onto the floor near our knees, our foreheads towards our knees, and our arms behind us, as if we're coming into child's pose. But unlike child pose, we're keeping our bum in the air. So, and you're using your core and your legs, but your core mainly to hold you up. So there shouldn't be much weight in your head, and it should feel nice, opening up of the shoulders and uncurling of your upper spine and your neck. Breathe. One more breath. Lovely, and then coming back onto your hands and knees, this time sitting down onto your heels, and we'll lean backwards, hands on the floor behind us, fingers pointing away from the body, and then head going back, squeeze your shoulder blades together, open up your chest, deep lungful of air here. Lovely. Gently lifting yourself back up. And this time we'll come up onto our hands and knees for some cat-cow. So get yourself in a nice box-shaped position. Your wrists directly underneath your shoulders so that your arms are nice and straight. So you've got this box-shaped position going on here. Knees are hip width apart, hands facing forwards, all the fingers on the floor. Hands are shoulder width apart. Flat back as we inhale, and then as we exhale, let's push everything up to the ceiling. Inhale, tilt the other way. Exhale, push up. Inhale, tilt your head up, your bum up. Feel your stomach muscles pulling up. Your arms are still engaged. Exhale, squeeze your pelvic floor. Push your palms down into the floor, but your arms are pulling up at the same time. And carry on in your own rhythm of breath. What feels good for your body is the important thing. Every time you inhale, tilting, and every time you exhale, pushing up. And then after the next inhale, let's come back to a flat, neutral back. And then let's slide the right leg out behind us. Keep your hands planted on the floor and then push down with your right hand. Lift up the left arm so that you're in your left arm's nice and straight with your back, palm facing sideways. Your hips are facing forwards. And then if you feel balanced, you can lift up your right leg. I'm just looking to see if I'm in a straight line. It's hard. And keep your hips facing forwards. Your leg and arm and back should be in one straight line. Your foot should be flexed. Breathe. Exhale, back to your hands and knees. And then slide the left leg back. Press down with your left hand into your left palm. Lift your left arm up, palm facing sideways, arm nice and straight. And then lift up the left leg, one nice straight line. Head facing forwards. I'm only looking sideways to look at you, look at the screen. Breathe. One more round of breath. And then back to your hands and knees. And then coming and sitting back onto your heels. And bringing your fingers up into a sort of claw position, placing your arms as far in front of you as you can, stretch them as far in front of you as you can while you're sitting on your heels, head down to the floor, forehead on the floor, and keep your wrists up, your arms up on your fingertips, and really feel that you're stretching your arms forward. Very nice. And then from here, lifting yourself up, putting your hands back on the floor, tucking your toes under. We're going to come up into a downward facing dog. So tucking your toes under, pushing down into your hands, lifting your heels up. Maybe you want a wider stance with your feet and your hands. And settling into a downward facing dog. So downward facing dog is all about opposite stretches. So you're pulling your heels down as much as they'll go. You're pushing, all your fingers are pointing forwards and you're pushing, it's like you feel like you're pushing your hands forwards. Your shoulders are rolled out. You're pulling your head in towards your knees. You're pushing your bum up in the air at the same time that you're pulling your heels down. So you're getting a really good stretch in every single part of your body. Breathe. And then you can start to pad from one foot to the other. Bringing the knee across the body so that you're rotating your hips a bit, bringing some movement into your hips. And then settling back down into your downward facing dog position. Don't forget to roll your shoulders open. One more round of breath here. And then let's start to walk the feet towards the hands. Keep your body hanging down. Start to straighten your legs, but keep your body hanging loosely, using gravity. Completely relax your upper body. You're like a rag doll, but your lower legs are straight. Or your lower legs, your only legs. Your legs are straight. The stretch is coming from your legs. And your upper body is just hanging like a rag doll. You can grab hold of opposite elbows and you can even sort of sway your upper body round a bit. And every time you exhale, let gravity pull you a little bit further down towards the ground. And then let's slowly unravel one vertebra at a time, rolling up into Tadasana, mountain pose. And from here we'll lift our arms straight up. Sorry, you can't see the tops of my fingers. Lift our arms straight up and link the fingers together with the two index fingers pointing forwards. We're going to come into a crescent side stretch. So inhaling up from the waist, and as we exhale, we'll tilt over to the side. And you can see the lower body's not moving at all. Your chest is still facing forwards. You're just tilting at the waist and you're keeping your arms straight. If you want to challenge yourself even more, you can lift up onto your tiptoes to do this. Inhale back to center. Exhale over. Whoops, try not to fall over on your tiptoes. Try and keep your legs straight. Exhale over, or if it's too much, you can obviously just come down, but it's quite fun to challenge yourself. Inhale back to center. Exhale back down. Beautiful. I'm going to tuck myself in because we're going to start, we're going to come into some sun salutations. So, back at the front of the mat, standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. So shoulders down, chest open, chin level, drishti straight ahead, everything active for mountain pose. But you're at the front of the mat. And now we're going to come into Surya Namaskar A, basic sun salutation A, just to give us a little flow. One breath for one movement, so every time we inhale, we're making an upward movement, and every time we exhale, it's a downward movement. So inhale, arms up, exhale, bending right over, hands flat to the floor. Even if that means you have to bend your knees, it's about having your hands on the floor. Inhale, lift up your bum, your body slightly. Exhale, step back with both feet knees to the floor, bend your elbows, lower down. Inhale, rise up to baby cobra. Exhale, push back, sit on your heels, tuck your toes under, lift your feet up, come back into a downward facing dog. Round of breath here, inhale, exhale, one more, inhale, and then as you exhale, step forwards, keeping your hands to the floor. Inhale, lift up your bum again slightly, keeping your hands to the floor. Exhale, folding right over again. Inhale, rising all the way up, arms up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Let's do that again. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, touching down, hands to the floor. Inhale, keep hands to the floor, just lift up slightly. Exhale, step back. You can lower down, knees to the floor or chaturanga. Inhale, up to baby cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll back to downward facing dog. Round of breath in downward facing dog. Then one more, inhale, look to the hands. As you exhale, you can step or jump forward. Keep hands to the floor as you inhale and lift up slightly. Exhale, folding right over again. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands back to heart. One more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands flat to the floor. Inhale, keep hands to the floor. Lift. Exhale, step back. I'll do the basic one again. Lower down, knees to the floor, bend elbows. Inhale, rising up, baby cobra. Exhale, sitting back towards your heels, tucking toes under, lifting up to downward facing dog. Round of breath in downward facing dog. Inhale once more. Exhale, stepping forwards. Keep your hands to the floor as you inhale, lift up slightly. Exhale, folding right over again. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands back to the heart. And one more time using chaturanga. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands flat to the floor. Inhale, hands to the floor, lift slightly. Exhale, step or jump back, lower down, hover. Inhale, rising up to upward dog. Exhale, rolling back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale, keep hands to the floor, lift slightly. Exhale, folding right over again. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to heart. Beautiful, very nice. So you should be feeling nicely fired up now, and your body feeling like it can do anything now. So let's do a tree, shall we, before we move on to a couple of warrior positions. So planting your left leg firmly down, but at the same time lifting up through the waist and up through the hip. And then with the right foot, you can either, it depends on your balance, so it's about keeping your hips forwards but about opening up this leg and this hip. So depending on your balance, you can either just keep your toes ever so slightly on the floor. It's about connecting the sole of your foot with your leg, with your other leg. So you could have your tiptoes there on the floor, very basic position like that. Or you could lift your foot up so that it's underneath the knee on your shin, the side of your shin, or the full position is with your foot, with the heel tucked into, sorry, I can't do it and talk at the same time, your heel tucked into your groin, but make sure that you avoid your knee, hands to prayer at the heart, pulling up in the waist, hips forward, and then lifting up the arms, opening them out, and breathing. And it's about using your drishti, your gaze, gazing straight ahead and not really looking at anything. That helps you balance. Another round of breath. And then as you inhale, don't put the foot down yet, bring it forwards with the knee up, hands back to the heart, and then lower it gently down, foot back, connects back down with the floor, and you can bend your knees just to release your muscles slightly before we go to the other side. So then planting the right foot down, choosing the same position that you did the other side, so either your toes just on the floor or your toes, your foot beneath your knee, or your foot above your knee with the heel into the groin, but avoid your knee. Hands to prayer or to your heart, it's not exactly a prayer, and then up, and then open them out into the branches of your tree. Breathe, a couple of rounds of breath here. Try and keep your shoulders down. And then bringing the foot forward, hands back to the heart, lowering the foot down to the floor, bending your knees. Beautiful. And then let's come back to the front of the mat and step back into a warrior one, keeping our right leg forwards, left leg back, right knee bent then for a warrior one. So try and have your knee and your ankle in one straight line, directly stacked over each other. You should still be able to see your big toe in front of your knee, so if you can't, then you need to widen your stance a bit more. Your back foot should be at a kind of 45-degree angle, and this thigh, your back thigh, should be rolled in slightly, not out to the side like that, but rolled in. And your hips are facing forwards, arms up in the air, shoulders down, drishti straight ahead. And breathe. Focus. One more breath. And then let's open up into warrior two. So your back foot shifts ever so slightly round a bit. Your hips are still trying to face forwards, but your body's coming round slightly because you're bringing your arms out. You're looking towards your front hand. Your palms are facing downwards, and you're trying to get a straight line across your back, across your shoulders, across both arms. So you might need to check your backhand to check that you're in alignment, back and front, and that you're in one straight line. And it's like you're trying to touch either opposite walls. And some people have a tendency to, because they're thinking about stretching forwards, they tend to lean forwards into warrior two, but actually it's about keeping your body straight. So try and be conscious of that you're not leaning forwards into it. Okay, so breathing here. Very nice. And then from here, straighten up the leg, hands on the hips, swivel on your back heel of the right foot so that you're bringing your foot forward, so both your feet now are facing forwards, and we're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold, as wide a stance as you can. We're going to hinge at the waist with a flat back. So let's come down first, hinging at the waist with a flat back, gently, and then lowering ourselves down, lowering our hands down onto the floor, if we can reach the floor. If you can't reach the floor, then I would suggest getting a couple of blocks. I sell cork blocks if you need them, these blocks here. If you can't reach the floor, then it's very useful to use these to help you connect with the floor. Breathe here. And then placing your, keep the right hand right in the middle between, so that, you know, in front of your face. And then twisting right, straightening the arm, twisting round, bringing your left arm up in the air and looking up to your left hand. And your arms should be in one kind of like straight line, looking up to your left hand. Breathe. And then as you exhale, put your left hand back down on the floor, twist the other way, lift your right arm up, look up to the right, straighten up your left arm. And then back down to the floor again. And then still with your body hanging over and your hands to the floor, swivel your right foot back round so that it's pointing forwards again, and then bend your knee, put your hands on either side of your foot, and then swivel your back foot round, drop the knee down to the floor so that you're now on the floor. And then you can lift your arms up. And then from here, bring your palms together. And I'll better do it this side, to be honest. Palms together, and then bring your left elbow over your right knee, and then push the elbow with your knee, push the knee with your elbow, and then try and push your palms together in the centre of your chest. And your right elbow is pointing upwards, and you're looking up towards your right elbow. And you're swiveling at the waist, twisting your body round. You're not just leaning over your knee, you're actually trying to swivel round with your elbow pushing. And if this is a position you're familiar with and you're comfortable, then you can tuck your toes under and lift up the back knee. And breathe. And then bringing your hands back down to the floor, then coming back to downward facing dog. Breathe in downward facing dog. And then we need to step forwards with the left foot. So bring the left foot forward, swivel your right foot round, lift up, warrior one on this side, because we need to do the same things that we did on the other side, on the left hand side now. So think about your positions so that you can still, that you've got a nice, your knee is above your ankle, that you can still see your big toe, hips are facing forward, thigh rolling in, arms up. And then opening up into warrior two on this side. Check that your arms are in one nice straight line. Look towards the front hand. And then from here we need to come back down and do the palms together on the other side. So bringing your hands down either side of your foot, swiveling your back foot round, dropping the knee down to the floor, and then we can bring our arms up, and let's come into a little back bend here. So leaning backwards with the arms so that you can feel a little bend in your lower back. And then palms together, and then elbow over, the right elbow over the left knee. I'll turn around in a second, but I just want you to see it from behind. Pushing the palms together. Okay, and then so I'll turn around now so you can see it from this direction. So pushing the palms together, this elbow up in the air, you're looking up to that elbow, you're trying to push your hands into your chest, and you're swiveling your body round as much as possible. And then if you're comfortable, you can tuck your toe under and straighten the back leg. And the cat wants to come in. Okay, and then from here release and come down onto your right knee again, and I'll just let the cat in. Come on, Summer. Come on, sweetie. Come on, come on, come on. Quick, quick, quick. Quick, quick, quick. I'm in the middle of a class. So, back onto your knee. So you've got your right knee on the floor, your left knee is up, and we're going to do a little flow sequence here using the same arm in the air movement that we just did in our forward fold. So lifting the arms up in the air as you inhale, and then as you exhale, hands down either side of your front foot. Inhale, keep your right hand down, lift your left arm up, turn to the left as you inhale and look up to your left hand. As you exhale, bring your left hand down on the floor where your right hand is. Turn the other way. As you inhale, bring your right arm up in the air. Keep your left arm straight. Look at your right hand. Exhale, hands back down to either side. Inhale, left foot back. Exhale, right foot forwards this time. Inhale, arms back up in the air. Exhale, hands down either side of the foot. Inhale, this time keep your left hand down, turn to the right, lift your right arm up, look right. Exhale, right hand down on the floor. Inhale, lift your left arm up, look left. Exhale, hands either side of the foot. Inhale, this time tuck your toes under, your back toes under. Lift up your back leg, and then exhale, bring your left leg back behind you too, and come down into a plank. And we'll hold a plank for a couple of breaths. Try and keep this part of your body up, not sinking down like that, but try and keep it up. And then let's lower down. You can bring your knees down to the floor if you like to lower down, or you can challenge yourself and lower down slowly in chaturanga and hover. And then come and lie on the mat, arms behind you. You can have your head to one side, but if it's to one side, then after a couple of breaths, turn it to the other side. I need to let the annoying cat out again. Go on then. There you go. Okay, and then from here, let's put our forearms on the floor, palms facing downwards, our elbows bent and our elbows in line with the line of our chest. And then let's lift ourselves up, keeping our legs on the floor, let's lift up into a cobra. Couple of breaths here. And then if you know that you've got quite a strong back, you could try it, and if it doesn't feel comfortable, come back down again. But if you know you've got a strong back, then push down into your hands. You can lift your elbows up and straighten your arms and push back a little bit more. If that feels uncomfortable for your lower back, come back down into cobra. You know what your back can do. Okay. And then lowering back down again onto the mat. Breathing again on the mat. And this time we're going to come up into Shalabhasana. So zipping your legs together, pointing the toes, everything squeezed together. And we're going to lift up the toes, lift up the lower legs, and then eventually lift up the knees off the floor if you can, but first lift up the lower legs. And then with our upper body, we're going to lift upper body up like we did in Cobra. And you can either have your arms in Cobra arms, but just off the floor, hovering off the floor. You can have them behind you like that, or you can have them out in front of you in sort of Superman flying position. So inhale, lift your legs up first, then lift up your upper body and choose which of the positions you want. And try to remember to breathe as well. People hold their breaths in this one quite a lot. Breathe. One more breath. And then lowering back down again. Beautiful. Keep your breathing nice and slow, and your heart rate will slow down to match your breathing. And then when your back has settled, gently lift yourself up, push your hands back down onto the floor, gently lift up your upper body. We're going to come back into child's pose, so bend your knees, keep the knees on the floor, come and sit back on your heels, actually connect your bum with your heels if you can, and then lower your chest down onto your thighs, or between your thighs. Some people prefer child's pose with the legs open like that, but I prefer them with my knees closed. Lowering your chest down, forehead to the floor, and your arms out behind you, so your shoulders are relaxed. And breathe. Okay, one more round of breath. And then bringing your hands forwards again, lifting yourselves gently up, and then swiveling yourself round so that your bum's on the floor. You're sitting down with your legs straight out in front of you. We're going to come into Dandasana, the seated version of mountain pose, seated version of Tadasana. So feet are flexed, legs are together. Your arms are straight with your shoulders exactly underneath your wrists, so that means you can have straight arms and you're engaging your arms. And your hands are either side of your bum, straight back, pushing down slightly into your hands, which is pulling your shoulders down. Breathe. And then from here, let's lift our arms up in the air, pulling up from the waist. And then with a flat, straight back, hinging at the hips. leaning forwards towards the toes, keeping your neck up so that, can you see, your back and your neck is in one straight line. The aim is to eventually fold over your legs, but you might not be able to do that just yet. If you can grab onto your feet, that's great, but keep your neck up and looking over the top of your feet. And if you can connect with your feet, and perhaps you've got a strap, you can use a strap. Bend your elbows so that that pulls your body down further, but keep looking over your toes. And breathe. Inhaling. Back up. And then let's come into a rotation. So keeping the left leg forwards, bending the right leg over the left leg with the foot on the floor. If you're flexible, you can also bend the left knee round, but keep both your sit bones on the floor. If you can't keep both your sit bones on the floor like this, then keep your left leg straight out. Right hand behind you with the fingers pressing down, acting like a lever. Left arm, there's two variations here, again depending on flexibility. Left arm wrapping round your knee and then you're lifting up. Or you can lift up your left arm in the air and place the elbow over the other side of the knee. And then lift up as you inhale and rotate as you're exhaling towards your right shoulder. And you can use either your arm round or your elbow to push this bent leg further into your body so that you're getting more of a rotation across your back. And you can use this hand to press so that you're pulling your shoulder back even more. So you're getting a good rotation in your back. Keep your foot flexed if your foot is forwards, because that's keeping your left leg working as well. Breathe. And then inhale back to center. Swap sides. So right leg goes down on the floor. Left leg goes over the top. If you're doing the variation with your leg folded back, that's great, but keep both your sit bones on the floor. If not, keep your leg forward. This time the left hand goes back behind you. Right arm, you either wrap it around your knee and pull the knee towards you, or lift up the arm, bend the elbow over the other side of the knee, and then lift up before you turn and use your knee to help you turn. I'll stay with my back to you so that you can see how my back is in this one. Breathe. Inhale back to center. Beautiful. And now let's come into a loose Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet together, but we'll have it in a loose diamond shape. Sometimes Baddha Konasana is with the heels closer to the groin. And then we're going to curve the body over this time. We're just going to hang the head down towards the feet. Arms are going to be fairly relaxed and loose, and we're just curving our body over, hanging the head down, hanging the neck down. See, my arms are quite loose. And just enjoy gravity pulling your head and neck. Okay, and then gently rolling up out of that one. We'll just come into a Navasana before we come into bridge pose. So Navasana, the idea is to be on your balance on your sit bones, but to keep a V, quite an upright V-shaped position with your thighs and your upper body. If you're leaning too far back, then you're not using the right muscles. You're using your back muscles more than these muscles, and you're going to strain yourself. So so if you find yourself leaning too far back, you need to adjust your legs. So the most basic position, if you're not so strong in the core yet, is to keep your toes ever so slightly on the floor. So you know you're still getting that position, and you can still feel that you're working these muscles. Or you can support yourself with your hands and bring your feet up like this. And you see I'm still upright in this V position. You can do it without your hands and with bent knees. If you're really hardcore, you can stick your legs up in the air, but don't sink back. If you're sinking back, then you need to adjust back to this position, or even back to this position, whatever is working for you. Okay? One more breath. One more breath, even more. Okay, and then cross at the ankles. Bring your hands down to the floor, your feet on the floor, and then lift your bum up off the floor, and you'll find that's a blessed relief. Very nice. And then from here, keep your feet on the floor, knees bent. We're going to come down on our backs and come into a bridge pose. So I need to take my hair thing out. Okay, so thighs parallel, heels as close to your bum as you can get them. Your back is on the floor, and we're going to start with a gentle peeling the spine off the floor, lifting up towards our shoulders as we breathe. So on an inhale, we're going to gently lift up, and imagine you're peeling one vertebra at a time off the floor up towards your shoulders. Your head's facing, looking up to the ceiling. I'm just looking sideways because I'm used to looking at the screen for Zoom classes. And then lowering gently back down again as you exhale. Imagine you're placing one vertebra at a time back down. And then when your bum connects back down with the floor, engage your stomach muscles so that you're actually pushing the small of your back into the floor as well. Because normally we have a little, you can slide your hands underneath your back normally because there's always a slight curve in the spine. So actively push that into the floor as well, just to start being aware of, where you can use your different muscles, and also gives you a bit of a stomach workout. And then gently peel as you inhale, peel it off again, up towards your shoulders. And as you exhale, back down again. And then this time when you come up, when you inhale up, keep your pelvis up, keep pushing your pelvis up, engaging your thighs, your quads, your feet are facing forwards, your knees are also parallel, they're not splaying outwards, they're parallel. Pushing up onto your shoulders, you can see my arms are lying either side flat on the floor. If you're comfortable with that, you can link your hands underneath your bum and pull your arms down towards your heels, and that helps increase the lift a little bit on your shoulders. Breathe. One more round of breath. And then gently lower yourself back down. Very gently back down. Let your back settle. Couple of breaths. And then Now keep your back on the floor, but lift, and keep your knees bent, but lift your feet up. We'll come into happy baby. So your arms in between your knees, and then your hands are grabbing the outside edges of your feet, and your knees are open, and you can rock on the floor like a happy baby or an inverted frog or whatever. And just have a nice little rock. Massage your lower back on the floor. Very nice. And then you can kick your legs up in the air, have a 2-year-old tantrum, shake your legs about, roll your feet, your ankles round a few times one way, and then going around the other way. And you can open your legs wide if you want. Point your toes, flex your feet, flex your ankles. You can grab onto the inside of your thighs if that helps. And then we probably need to do eagle legs because we did eagle arms. So crossing at the thighs, crossing your legs at the thighs, and then trying to tuck your toes underneath the other leg. A couple of breaths here, squeezing the thighs together. And then uncurling and crossing the other way, so crossing at the thighs, and then trying to tuck the foot under the calf of the other foot. Squeeze. And then release. Bring your feet back onto the floor. Feet flat, knees bent. And then we'll just finish on some supine twists. So bring your knees together, close your knees together, and then drop your knees down to the right hand side. Keep both your shoulders on the floor, your back on the floor. Stretch your left arm out and look towards your left arm. And a couple of slow rounds of breath here. Start to relax your body. Inhale, back to center, bring the knees back up. Exhale, drop the knees down to the left hand side. This time reach your right arm out, look to the right, and breathe a couple of deep rounds of breath here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop your knees down to the right again. Stretch your left arm out, look left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, last time, knees down to the left. Reach your right arm out, look right. Couple of rounds of breath here. And then inhale your knees back to the center. And now slide your legs gently down, feet towards either corner of the mat, arms loosely by your sides, not touching but loosely out by your sides, palms facing upwards, and start to relax your body into Shavasana. letting go of any remaining tension that your body might be holding on to. You can completely release now. Your muscles have done their work, and now you're letting them rest. You're letting them program themselves with everything that you've just done over the past hour. And so to do that, you relax your whole body and think about travelling upwards from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of your head and relaxing every single part of your body as your mind settles on it. So start with your toes. Visualize each toe completely relaxing. Physically relax each single toe. And then your feet and your ankles and your heels are completely relaxed. Your calves and your shins, your knees, your thighs, completely relaxed, loose on the floor. You can feel them melting into the mat underneath you. Your hips are relaxed. Your hands on either side of your hips are relaxed. Each finger completely relaxed. Your hands, your palms, your wrists, your arms, your elbows, completely relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your chest, your stomach, completely soft and relaxed. You can feel your chest rising and falling as your breath is gently travelling in and out. Even your breath is relaxed now, its own natural rhythm. Your neck's relaxed, your jaw, your cheeks, even your ears are relaxed, your lips, your eyes, your forehead, and the top of your head completely relaxed. And when you're ready, starting to bring a little bit of movement back into your body to wake it up again. So start to wriggle your toes and your fingers. Rotate your wrists and your ankles. Maybe you want to shrug your shoulders. Roll your legs from side to side. Or stretch your arms over your head. Or maybe bend your knees up into your chest and give them a hug. And rock your back. Give a little back massage on the floor one last time. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto your right hand side. And then gently lifting yourself back up to a gentle, cross-legged, comfortable position. Palms facing upwards again. Just tune into your breathing one last time to remember that you always have this resource within you, this calm space. You just have to tune into this breathing. bringing the palms together with the thumbs touching the heart. Bowing forwards to seal the practice.